Blessed is the man who dies in righteousness and goodness, concerning whom there is no book of unrighteousness written, and against whom no day of judgment shall be found. Greetings, my friends, and welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Sean, your host. The website can be found at www.scriptureandprophecy.com. Well, today we are resuming our study in the ancient book of Enoch. And we are ready for chapter 76, and we're going to read through chapter 81 today. And it's a continuation of the course of the heavenly luminaries, so we're going to finish all of that. And it's about like last week's. There is some interesting thoughts. Once again, Enoch makes the claim that the sun and the moon are the same size. He also goes on to explain that during the time of the sinners, as it's called, that the people will be in error as far as their understanding about the stars and about the luminaries. That it'll be concealed. The truth of the matter will be concealed from them, which I also find interesting. So that's what we're going to be covering today. And without further delay, I would like to just jump right in. So we're going to start with chapter 76, and we're going to read through chapter 81 in the ancient book of Enoch. Let's begin. Verse 1. And at the ends of the earth I saw 12 portals open to all the quarters of the heaven, from which the winds go forth and blow over the earth. 3 of them are open on the face of the heavens, and 3 in the west, and 3 on the right of heaven, and 3 on the left. And the 3 first are those of the east, and the 3 of the north, and the 3 after those on the left of the south, and the 3 of the west. Through 4 of these come the winds of blessing and prosperity, and from those 8 come hurtful winds. And when they are sent, they bring destruction on all the earth, and the water upon it, and all who dwell thereon, and on everything which is in the water, and on the land. And the first wind of those portals, called the east winds, come forth through the first portal which is in the east, inclining towards the south. From it comes forth the desolation, drought, heat, and destruction. And through the second portal in the middle comes what's fitting, and from it there comes rain, and fruitfulness, and prosperity, and dew. And through the third portal which lies toward the north come cold and drought. And after these comes forth the south winds through 3 portals. Through the first portal of them, inclining to the east, comes forth a hot wind. And through the middle portal next to it there comes forth fragrant smells, and dew, and rain, and prosperity, and health. And through the third portal lying to the west comes forth dew, and rain, locusts, and desolation. And after these, the north winds, from the 7th portal in the east comes dew and rain, locusts, and desolation. And from the middle portal comes in a direction, health and rain and dew and prosperity. And through the third portal in the west comes cloud and hour frost and snow and rain and dew and locusts. And after these 4 are the west winds. Through the first portal adjoining the north comes forth dew and hour frost and cold and snow and frost. And from the middle portal comes forth dew and rain and prosperity and blessing. And through the last portal which adjoins the south comes forth drought and desolation and burning and destruction. And the 12 portals of the 4 quarters of the heaven are therewith completed. And their law and all their laws and all their plagues and all their benefactions have I shown to thee, my son Methuselah. Now it appears, based on the way this portion of the book of Enoch is written, that it's Enoch writing these things down for Methuselah. Chapter 77. And the first quarter is called the east because it is the first, and the second the south because the Most High will descend there. Yea, there in quite a special sense, he who is blessed forever descend. And the west quarter is named diminished because all the luminaries of the heaven wane and go down. And the fourth quarter, named the north, is divided into 3 parts. The first of them is for dwelling of men. and the second contains the sea of water, and the abyss, and the forest, and rivers, and darkness, and clouds, and the third part contains the garden of righteousness. And I saw 7 high mountains, higher than all the mountains which are on the earth. And thence comes forth our frost, and days, seasons, years pass away. I saw 7 rivers on the earth, larger than all the rivers. One of them, coming from the west, pours its water into the great sea. And these 2 come from the north to the sea, and pour their waters into Erythraean Sea in the east. And the remaining 4 come forth on the side of the north to their own sea, 2 of them to the Erythraean Sea, and 2 into the great sea, and discharge themselves there, and some say into the desert. 7 great islands I saw on the sea and in the mainland, 2 in the mainland, and 5 in the great sea. And the names of the sun are the following: the first, Osiris, and the second, Tammuz. And the moon has 4 names. The first name is Osagja, and the second, Ebla, and the third, Benes, and the fourth, Array. These are the 2 great luminaries. Their circumference is like the circumference of heaven, and the size of the circumference of both is alike. In the circumference of the sun there are 7 portions of the light which are added to it more than to the moon. In definite measures it is transferred till the 7th portion of the sun is exhausted. And they set and enter the portals of the west, and make their revolution by the north, and come forth through the eastern portals on the face of the heaven. And when the moon rises, 1/14th part appears in the heaven, and the light becomes full in her. On the 14th day she accomplishes her light. And the 15 parts of the light are transferred to her till the 15th day, when her light is accomplished according to the sign of the year. And she becomes 15 parts, and the moon grows by the addition of 14 parts. And in her waning the moon decreases on the first day to 14th parts of her light, on the second to 13th parts of the light, and on the third to 12, and on the 4th to 11, and on the 5th to 10, and on the 6th to 9, and on the 7th to 8th, and on the 8th to 7th, and on the 9th to 6, and on the 10th to 5, and on the 11th to 4, and on the 12th to 3, and on the 13th to 2, and on the 14th to the half of a 7th. And all her remaining light disappears wholly on the 15th. And in certain months the month has 12 days, and once 28. And Uriel showed me another law. When light is transferred to the moon, on which the side it is transferred to her by the sun, during all the period during which the moon is growing in her light, she is transferring it to herself, when opposite of the sun during the 14th days, and her light is accomplished in the heaven. And when she is illuminated throughout, her light is accomplished full in the heaven. And on the first day she is called the new moon, for on that day the light rises upon her. She becomes full moon exactly on the day when the sun sets in the west, and from the east she rises at night, and the moon shines the whole night through till the sun rises over against her, and the moon is seen over against the sun. On the side whence the light of the moon comes forth, there again she wanes, till all the light vanishes, and all the days of the month are at an end, and her circumference is empty, void of light. In 3 months she makes of 30 days, and at her time she makes 3 months of 29 days, in which she accomplishes her waning in the first period of time, and in the first portal of 177 days. And in the time of her going out she appears for 3 months 30 days each, and for 3 months she appears 29 each. At night she appears like a man for 20 days each time, and by day she appears like the heaven, and when there is nothing else in her save her light. Chapter 79. And now, my son, I have shown thee everything, and the law of all the stars of the heaven is completed. And he showed me all the laws of these for every day, and for every season of bearing rule, and for every part, every year, and for its going forth, and for the order prescribed to it every month and every week. And the waning of the moon, which takes place in the 6th portal, for in the 6 portals her light is accomplished, and after that there is the beginning of the waning. and the waning which takes place in the first portal and its seasons till the 177 days are accomplished, reckoned according to the weeks, 25 weeks and 2 days. She falls behind the sun, and the order of the stars exactly 5 days in the course of one period. And when this place, which thou seest, has been traversed, such is the picture and sketch of every luminary, which Uriel the archangel, who was their leader, showed unto me. Chapter 80. And in those days the angel Uriel answered and said unto me, Behold, I have shown thee everything, Enoch, and I have revealed everything to thee, that thou shouldest see this sun and this moon, and the leaders of the stars of heaven, and all those who turn them, their task and times and departures. And in the days of the sinners the years shall be shortened, and their seed shall be tardy on their lands and fields, and all the things on the earth shall alter, and shall not appear in their time, and the rain shall be kept back, and the heaven shall withhold it. And in those times the fruit of the earth shall be backward, and shall not grow in their time, and the fruits of the trees shall be withheld in their time, and the moon shall alter her order, and not appear at her time. And in those days the sun shall be seen, and he shall journey in the evening on the extremity of the great chariot in the west, and shall shine more brightly than accords with the order of light. And many chiefs of the stars shall transgress the order prescribed, and all these shall alter their orbits and task, and not appear in the seasons prescribed to them. The whole order of the stars shall be concealed from sinners, and the thoughts of those on the earth shall err concerning them. And they should be altered from all their ways. Yea, they shall err and take them to be gods. And evil shall be multiplied upon them, and punishment shall come upon them, so as to destroy all. Okay, so chapter 80 is interesting because it's telling us that in the days of sinners, whichever that might mean, I mean, it could be, maybe he's talking about the time of the flood, maybe he's talking about the end of the age concerning Jerusalem in 70 AD, or maybe he's talking about the end of all things, which we believe to be near the times we're living now. Either way, interestingly enough, he says that during that time, the seasons aren't going to act right, and the fruit's not going to grow in the right time, and things are going to be kind of out of order, and the people, the sinners, are going to be confused, and they're going to err concerning these things. I just find that interesting because I feel like we're living in a time when things are starting to the seasons are starting to be strange. And many of us would talk about how the seasons sometimes it's like the months are changing when the seasons are supposed to be, and of course all the time changes and all that stuff that they've been doing for years can kind of confuses everything, and it's just interesting. It's just interesting to think that maybe we are witnessing something like this, what Enoch is describing today. All right, one more chapter here, chapter 81, and then we will wrap it up for this morning. Chapter 81, verse 1. And he said unto me, Observe, Enoch, these heavenly tablets, and read what is written thereon, and mark every individual fact. And I observed the holy tablets, and read everything which was written thereon, and understood everything, and read the book of all the deeds of mankind, and all the children of the flesh that shall be upon the earth, till the remotest generation. So he's got these tablets which has everything from the beginning till the end written in it. Verse 3, And forthwith I blessed the great Lord, the King of glory forever, and that he has made all the works of the world. And I extolled the Lord because of his patience, and blessed him because of the children of men. And after that I said, Blessed is the man who dies in righteousness and in goodness, concerning whom there is no book of unrighteousness written, and against whom the day of judgment shall be and against whom no day of judgment shall be found. And those 7 holy ones brought me and placed me on the earth before the door of my house, and said to me, Declare everything to thy son Methuselah, and show to all the children that no flesh is righteous in the sight of the Lord, for he is their creator. 1 year we will leave thee with thy son, till thou givest thy last command, that thou mayest teach thy children and record it for them, and testify to all the children. And in the 2nd year they shall take thee from their midst. Let thy heart be strong, for the good shall announce righteousness to the good. The righteous with the righteous shall rejoice, and shall offer congratulations to one another. But the sinner shall die with the sinner, and the apostate go down with the apostate, and those who practice righteousness shall die on account of the deeds of men, and be taken away on account of the doing of godless. And in those days they ceased to speak to me, and I came to my people, blessing the Lord of the world. And that is the end of our study for this morning, chapter 73 through chapter 81, and that finishes the luminary conversation. And next week we'll continue this conversation about Enoch writing to his son Methuselah, and then there's this dream and vision that he has that we will be reading part of, because it looks like it's pretty long, so we won't be, it'll have to be broken up into chunks. So the weeks to come shall be far more interesting than the last 2 weeks, although for some of you, the luminary courses may have been fairly interesting, depending on what you take interest in, I suppose. But there you have it. Hey, I want to thank you for your support. It means so much, especially this time of year. So thank you for those who are willing to support this podcast and help make it happen. And really, really appreciate it. It's a blessing to me, a blessing to my family, and I literally couldn't make this podcast happen without you. So thank you for those who are willing to support. If you want to support but you're unable, your prayers are very, very helpful as well. So please pray for the podcast, and that it would go forth and accomplish its goal and pierce hearts and cause many to fall on their knees before the Lord. That is the goal. And that's all I got for you this morning. So peace and grace be with all of you, and Lord willing, I'll be back with you soon. God bless.